Hi everyone, my name is Romel Agapito and I am from St. Francis of Assisi. Hello everyone, so our topic is about Gregor Mendel. So first of all, who is Gregor Mendel? Gregor Mendel is an Australian scientist and Augustine Fear who is often referred to as the father of modern genetics. He was born on July 20, 1822. So, Mendel conducted groundbreaking experiment on pea plants in the mid 19th century. Through careful crossbreeding experiment, Mendel observed patterns of inheritance for her traits such as flower color, seed shape, and plant heights. His work led to foundation for the field of genetics by establishing the principles of inheritance, including the concept of dominant and recessive traits, as well as the segregation and independent assortment of genes. However, it's important to note that Mendel's works wasn't widely recognized during his lifetime. It was only after his death that his research gained appreciation and became a cornerstone of modern genetics. Mendel's findings were rediscovered and popularized by scientists such as Hugo de Vrinch, Karl Correns, and Erich von Teschermark, who is independently arrived at similar conclusion in the early 20th century. Today, Mendel principles of inheritance are true in biology classroom worldwide, and his experiments on pea plants remain a classic example of scientific inquiry and discovery. So now let's talk about Gregor Mendel experiment with true breeding plants. So Gregor Mendel experiments with true breeding plants leads the foundation for our understanding of genetics. Mendel would work with pea plants, Piscium sativum, and meticulously observed their inheritance patterns over several generations. So first of all is the selection of traits. So Mendel chose traits that were easily distinguished and occurred in two distinct forms, such as tall versus short plants, round versus wrinkled seed, and etc. And second is the true breeding line. We started with the breeding lines, meaning plants that, when self-pollinated or crossed with each other, consistently produced offspring with the same traits as the plants. For instance, if he crossed two true breeding plants, all of the resulting offspring would also be tall. So now let's go to the cross pollination. Mendel performed controlled cross by manually transferring pollen from the male reproductive organ of one plant to the female reproduction organ of another plant. This allowed him to control which plants mated with each other. Now is the first phelan generation. Mendel across pollinated true breeding plants with constructing traits. For example, he crossed tall plants with short plants. The result is offspring called the F1 generation. All exhibited the same traits. In this case, they were all tall. So now is observation. Mendel then allowed the F1 generation plants to self-pollinate, surprising in the resulting second generation the traits that has disappeared in the F1 generation respond in the ratio of approximately 3.1. For example, in the case of height, approximately 75% in total of the plants were all tall. tall, and 25% were all short. So now let's talk about cross-pollinated. In this experiment, Mendel would carefully control the pollination process by manually transferring pollen from plant to another, ensuring that he could predictably observe the traits passed down to the next generation. This allowed him to establish the principles of inheritance, including the concept of dominant and recessive traits, as well as the segregation and independent assortment of alleles. By meticulously analyzing the offspring of those crossover multiplied generations, Mendel was able to formulate his laws of inheritance, which revolutionized our understanding on how traits are passed from another traits. And last is the self-cross-pollinated. Mendel experiments with pea plant involve crossing the plant that exhibit whose specific constructing traits as a tall and short height. He performed what is known as self-cross or self-pollinated, where he allowed the plants to fertilize themselves. This ensured that the offspring would have the same traits as the parents' plants, as they would inherit generic material from both. Through careful observation and according to traits its subsequent generation, Mendel was able to formulate his law of inheritance, laying the groundwork of modern genetics. And that's all. And thank you for listening to my short presentation. Bye!